Hi, keeping it real here. I haven't done a video for a while because I've been in a lot of conflict. Firstly, with Powervault regarding my battery, and secondly, with Agile rates being so high. So I just wanted to bring you guys up to scratch on what's been happening. About 8 weeks ago, totally by chance and coincidence, my Powervault failed again. The reason for the failure you should know about is that the Powervault inverter is built upside down or installed upside down, and it's got these air filters at the bottom, and so it's basically sucking up dust and everything from the bottom. So that's fine, you can accept that there's that's what filters do. So it's doing its job. The only problem is that I've found from my experience with the Powervault constantly failing, um, like I've had it 22 months, and in that time, in the first year, literally every day the inverter would crash, and I'd have to ask them to reset it because there was no other way of doing it. Switching it on and off didn't help. I ended up with so many constant faults that Powervault actually had the same incident number for all my problems. So that was number one. So it fell over constantly for the first year, and then eventually, I think it was about September last year, 2020, a year in, that it totally died. Took them a few days, I think it was about 6 days, for them to come up and replace the inverter. That I was annoyed about because they didn't tell me that I would lose all my data. They literally do not care about how people use them. You pay for it, sod off, we don't need you. And they've been lying to me from day one, because the inverter obviously was faulty from day one, but they never, they just said, oh, we've got new software coming, we've got this, we've got that, and it never happened. The unit constantly fell over. It got to a stage where I was just fed up of the damn thing, to be honest, and maybe at that time I should have just called it a day, but I just kept hoping for the best and thinking, oh yeah, it'll work. Anyway, 8 or 9 weeks ago, the unit fell over again. It crashed, and I messaged them. They reset it and told me that, oh, the filters are dirty. Oh, sorry, I should go back one step. In September, when they replaced the inverter, they kind of, told me that the reason was because the filters were dirty, blah, blah, blah. But in 2021, there's a new version coming out which will have a fix, apparently, where it'll be a user cleanable filter rather than an engineer cleanable filter. My issue with that was, okay, fair enough, so that's coming, I'll get that, no problems. My unit falls over. Oh, but and also before it falls over, it starts making a lot of noise because it's trying to suck air in, and it becomes very noisy. The fans become really noisy. But you tell them, oh, my fans are really noisy, and they go, oh yeah, it's supposed to be. However, when it was a brand new inverter replaced, the filters were, clean. The unit was dead silent. We have ours in an open plan building, and you couldn't hardly hear them. But as soon as they get dirty, you have to put the volume of the TV up. So be aware, if you hear any noise, then that's what it is. Anyhow, so we moved on. So I was on a promise. It led to believe that there's a new unit coming out, or a new fix coming up, and I'll get it when it comes out in 2021. 2021 turns up. It's been crashing. It still crashes. Once in a while, I've had to have it reset, I think at least 2 or 3 times in this time. I've personally switched it on and off a few times, which sometimes works. Anyway, so that goes on. 8 or 9 weeks ago, which is, we're now in July, so around March, April, it crashed totally. And then I'm told, oh no, the new fix is there, but it's only for new customers, you don't get it. And at the same time, totally coincidentally, they realized that I hadn't paid them some money left over through the EDF deal. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not paying you a penny more till you give me a new inverter. The one that has fixable filters or user changeable filters. And they said, no, 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 that's only for new customers. You're not getting it. You'll just have to live with what you've got. And I was like, no, this isn't pennies. This is a serious amount of kit. So if you want me to keep it, bloody change it. Otherwise, I ain't paying you. And they were like, well, if you don't pay us, we're not going to, fix it. And I was like, well, in that case, I'll switch the unit off. I gave them notice that I would just switch the unit off, and I would pull it out of the building. Simple. I don't want it. You've just made my mind up for me. You've lied to me from day one. You've constantly you treat customers as stupid because you're like, oh yeah, it's supposed to happen, don't worry about it, instead of just having a unit that works. So my view is, and I even said to them, I said, do you realize through my YouTube channel I get asked a lot of times, oh, what would you recommend? And I've never ever recommended Powervault. The only time I've recommended Powervault is recently, when Powervault, through the EDF scheme, are charging, I think, £3,000 for an 8 kilowatt hour system. You can't go wrong for that price, but do not pay normal price because it ain't worth it. I personally I wouldn't pay it. I've never recommended it. It's very, I found the efficiency, when I first got the unit, the efficiency was about 60%. So whatever you put in, you got 60% back. It's improved a bit to about 7.2%. But the thing is, the scheduling, the whole thing is very good. I like the fact that you can schedule it. Unlike Tesla, your Powerwalls, you can't. But now, with hindsight, I would rather pay the extra and buy Tesla. There isn't anything better. It just works. The functionality is there. Okay, you can't schedule when you want to export and stuff like that, but for peace of mind, for the fact that it just works, it definitely does just work. I would recommend Powervault anytime over Powervault, because Powervault is, you're the beta tester, and I've told them that as well. Initially, I used to call it babysitting because I was constantly, it was crashing so often. I'd be ringing them up or emailing them every day, twice a day. Can you reset it? Can you reset it? So that's the story on why I don't have a battery at the moment. So the next stage is that, as you guys most probably know, agile rates have been crazy through the roof. And what I wanted to know is, should I move over to Go Faster or any of the other tariffs? And I thought, well, let's see. In the meantime, I've moved my deemed export from Eon, where I was getting the 50% deemed export. My average for a year was £14 a month. So I thought, Octopus outgoing, is it worth doing? And I got this just before, I got it a few months before the battery died. So it was a good test to see, is it worth it? Okay. Now, number one, with a battery, yes, you could, export at the highest rates, and it would work. Unfortunately for me, the 8 kilowatt battery was too small anyway. I need 16. I was thinking of 16 before even the export facility came along. So it was too small for me. And I had actually asked for quotes for an upgrade. So Powervault, being blind to the fact that I was actually wanting to spend more money, not just the money that I'd spent, still didn't respect any of that. Me as a self-employed person, if my customer wants to spend more money, I'd be looking after them even more. But unfortunately, Powervault are not like that. Okay, so basically, what's the next? Firstly, I complained to Powervault. Powervault said, oh, we're going to blah, 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 don't do anything, don't unplug it. So I didn't unplug it, I just switched it off. It's been switched off since day one. They then said that if you don't pay us the money, will come along and forcibly take it away. And I was like, well, you don't need to forcibly take it away. You can just take it away anyway. I'm not complaining. Anyway, I then followed up with an email to the CEO of Powervault, of EDF, um, because I'd been waiting about 6 weeks by then. And I got this response from them. And it just shows how stupid, they actually employ stupid people. Um, a copy of, if you look at the third thing that they've said here, a copy of the financial record showing all payments made against the limited offer payment plan taken during the fully charged show. I've never been to the fully charged show. I didn't sign on during the fully charged show. So I have no idea where they're getting their facts from. They haven't even asked. I've got all the email records of my conversations with Powervault. They haven't asked me for them. I even offered them. I said, "Do you want me to send you all the documents?" They haven't asked for them. So basically, the resolutions and all that rubbish. A customer isn't supposed to have indefinite repairs. I just wanted a working system. That's all I was asking for. So anyway, I can't find, so they're basically saying, we can't we can't give you your money back. In the first few instances, oh, we can't support your issue, or blah, blah, blah. Anyway, if you go down, then it says, I note your claim for either a full refund or that you be given a next day fixed service level with compensation due to your purchase being outside of the code. We can't give you that. Okay, that's what he says, that he can't give me my money back. Okay. However, what it then says, the next sentence, this is how these are people employed. I mean, this guy, I don't know, I'd have him out of the building before he's even spelt his name. I'm disappointed that you feel that you've not benefited and are unsatisfied with the product. Therefore, I'm happy to offer you removal with a refund of all the money paid, minus the cost. So one side he's saying he can't give me my money back. Next sentence he's saying he can give me my money back. Okay, so basically, at the end of the day, this is where I was left with Powervault. Now I'm waiting for them. I've actually written to them saying, well, you haven't even understood the problem. The problem is it's a design fault, and the design fault basically is the issue. Secondly, the warranty is for 10 years. Okay, they'll fix it, for 10 years. What happens after the 10 years? But this is what happens. You end up with a British company, um, like Powervault. So my mistake. Anyhow, hope it helps. And I now want to do a video or two on life without a battery. So thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to. Don't if you don't want to. And speak to you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.